This is not graffiti, and neither is this, and neither is this. But this is, and so is this, and so is this. What's the difference? Well, the first three were pieces of street art, while the rest had someone's name on it. See, graffiti needs two things to exist. Firstly, it needs to be not allowed in some way, usually illegal vandalism. But secondly, and more interestingly, it needs to be someone's name, usually the artist's name. Which is wild to me that that's a requirement. Now sure, common people will call any form of vandalism that's even slightly artful graffiti, but ask graffiti artists and they'll tell you need a name. But why is that? Well, I think it's because of human nature and history. This is Subway Art by Martha Cooper. It's absolutely stunning, showing graffiti piece after graffiti piece on subways and on streetways, but notice, name, 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 and name. It's all people's names, and the people's whose names it is. And yes, they are all names. I've looked at so many that I forget that the uninitiated can't read a lot of these. And why is that? Let's talk about that for a moment. People can't read these. Now, it could be that, it was done in a hurry by a bunch of nervous kids who weren't artistically trained. Probably had something to do with it. But that's not the whole truth. See, you weren't supposed to be able to read it. It was a form of gatekeeping. It was a way to be in the know and being part of the cool kids, Our brains are amazing pattern recognizing machines, and what they realized was that this was just gibberish until you knew the artist's name first. And then suddenly it would just click, and now you could see it. Now you knew the password, and you could read this message that was hidden in plain sight. And what was that message? Well, essentially, it was, first was here. It was a message to show that the artist, the person, existed, and that they made a literal mark on the world and in history, and wanted everyone to know about it. This has existed for as long as humans have existed, as long as names and written language has existed. You probably did this when you were younger. You wrote your name on anything and everything you could, everything that you owned, and then everything that you didn't own but wanted to own. That's why Andy wrote his name at the bottom of Woody's shoe. That's why you wrote your name at the back of the slide, to claim that little spot to show that you existed. It's innately human. Next time you're out and about, look out for signs, because wherever there's a sign, there's a pole, and behind every sign and on every pole is a sticker. My favorite kind of graffiti, especially these, the hello my name is, because it's just an amazing embodiment of the type of artwork that this is. These were ubiquitous, available everywhere, every event, every workplace pretty much that you needed to have a name tag, these stickers existed. And so they just took them because they were free. And there was a large blank white space and they were stickers and you could stick them anywhere. So you could take your time at home, at school, where have you, and write out your tag. And from there, you could stick it on super fast, just slap it on to anything. People slapping random things is a thing that people do, and it's... I mean, they're using it for what it's for. They're writing their name.